The ancient holy Mount Fuji towers over a modern metropolis. Monks robed in ritual saffron pray. Graceful geishas dance. And even the youngest perform ancient Buddhist rites. With a rich blend of tradition and the ultra-modern, this can only be Japan, the original land of contrasts. This mystic isle offers a feast for the eyes, and for any explorer remains an ultimate journey. The journey begins in the heart of the metropolis, the capital city, Tokyo. Only residents are allowed to possess a car and the expensive garage lot that goes with it. But nonetheless, the rush hour never ends. The street is a catwalk where costumes are cult. The young and the young at heart parade, each hoping to stand out from the 12 million strong throng. Shibuya is the trendy quarter. Here, eccentric outfits are status symbols. And their backdrop, the equally flashy Tokyo skyline. In this mega city, the greatest luxury is space. The capital flickers, glimmers and pulsates with life. There is never a dull moment. Those who love London or New York will fall in love with Tokyo. This ultimate journey will reveal both exciting, unknown, and even quaint sides to this extraordinary city. Not a spaceship, nor a submarine. This is Japan's biggest capsule hotel with 630 rooms. For around $40 a night, you might not get a lot of room, but there's plenty of entertainment. Sleep well. Night falls over Tokyo, but the lights never go out. City workers seem to toll around the clock. Those that do escape the city may turn to the clubbing quarters of Shinjuku or Shibuya to let off steam. Living it up in this pulsating nightlife is, for many people, the only balance to their high-pressure working lives. Going out alone doesn't have to be a lonely experience. If you want company, one popular trend, nampa, aims to please. Well-groomed young men patrol the Sentogai precinct in Shibuya, seeking to win the heart of passing women. Here there is no coy stopping to ask the time. They go straight to the point and ask for a date. And they can be quite persistent. And even though women may be keen to decline, few take offense. The overbearing and in-your-face nightlife couldn't be further from the gentle and mysterious lives of some of the other city dwellers. The geisha, a facade of makeup, poise and charm. Graceful creatures with a timeless beauty. Geisha means human art, and these living canvases are highly respected throughout Japan. Rarely do geisha open the door on their mystic world. But Katsuya and Katsue are geisha in the making and have offered us a glimpse of their secret lives. They live in Kamishi-chikin, the oldest of 5 geisha quarters in Kyoto. For days, the girls have been awaiting the Day of Culture, a public performance of the skills they have learned so far. And for the public, a unique opportunity to see geisha up close. Even tea making is something of a ballet. Katsue was captivated after seeing geisha perform when she was a child. From that moment on, she has strived for this feminine perfection herself.
Even from the age of 15, I knew I wanted to become a geisha, much to the surprise of my friends at school. But once they were used to the idea, they offered great support.
The traditional tea ceremony is one of the signature tasks a geisha has to present with artistic flair, an act that can take many years to perfect. The green matcha tea must be lightly beaten with a bamboo brush until it begins to froth. Every movement of the hand is precision choreography. For the Japanese, receiving tea from one of these enchanting creatures is the height of luxury.
The maikos are a central part of traditional Japanese culture and a site unique to Kyoto.
At the age of 18, Katsuya joined the geisha and has been in hard training for the past 3 years. Initially, her parents tried to talk her out of her chosen career.
My father was very disapproving, but I persisted nonetheless. And by the time I did my very first performance, my father was stood right at the front of the audience with his camcorder. It was really funny.
Finally, Katsue and Katsuya are confident and accomplished enough in the dance to take to the stage. Today, few young women submit to the rigorous training, and for that reason, the 77 maiko of Kyoto are strongly admired. Every day, the girls attend geisha school. Here, school uniforms are replaced by traditional kimonos, and maths and physics are replaced with the art of feminine charms. Training lasts for 5 years. One integral act is the chant, accompanied on the Japanese lute or shamisen. Katsue and Katsuya are model students, breezing through their rigorous tests. To become a dignified lady companion requires great countenance and discipline. Kneeling seems pretty effortless, but the girls can hold the pose for hours without so much as a flinch. Only rarely are outsiders allowed to glimpse this world of the geisha. Normally, the doors are closed to preserve their mystique and secrecy. At noon, the class breaks. Some of the women hurry to their next appointments, but others choose to stay behind and put in a few more hours of work. Katsue and Katsuya have a performance booked for tonight, and everything must be perfect. The girls share similar pseudonyms, Katsuya and Katsue, showing that they belong to the same geisha house. They live like sisters.
Although in our relationship, we are more like friends than family.
I think it's normal that she accompanies me everywhere. I'm used to it. And actually, it doesn't bother me at all.
Even during the few hours that they have off each week, they usually go out together.
For example, to the cinema?
And shopping. Then we might go to a cafe, eat whatever we feel like, and talk. When I'm home, I like to read. On holiday, we are allowed to sleep in as long as we like. And I often sleep until noon.
So even the most angelic of geisha have their moments and can relax like anyone else when they get the chance. Her voice may be fragile, but this 80-year-old geisha won't even think of quitting. Tama Liu is the grande dame of Kyoto's geisha and recently celebrated her 65th anniversary as a lady companion. She continues to teach shamisen. She represents faultless discipline and so expects nothing less from her students.
Manners are the most important trait for a Meiko. That is the first thing taught, followed by politeness and gratitude towards the older geishas. Some perform better than others.
As dawn breaks over Kyoto, a geisha's work begins. Gion, the most famous of the 5 geisha quarters, lies close to a busy main road. This is the heart of Kyoto, packed with fascinating, quaint tea houses for visitors to explore. But it's the nightlife that sees geisha at their finest. Tonight, Katsuya and Katsue are entertaining. A Japanese businessman has paid handsomely for their company to entertain a client from Hawaii, a uniquely Japanese experience. A mother figure for the geisha, the oko-san, ensures that the customer's wishes are fulfilled. But she also ensures that the boundaries are not crossed. Erotic adventures are not part of the service.
I sometimes bring my clients here. This kind of geisha culture can only be seen in Kyoto. It's a really unique way to welcome foreign visitors.
It's not just posing in their artful ways. The geisha also have an entertainment repertoire that includes drinking games. It's not long before rigid geisha become giggling teenagers.
When I first saw them walking down the street, they looked like dolls. But I can see now that they are real humans.
For a less intimate but more traditional encounter with the geisha, you can visit a theatre in Kyoto's geisha quarter. This is the ultimate performance for geisha, something that Katsue and Katsuya aspire to. But these perfect model lady companions are much more than just an act. The role of a geisha goes on, even after the curtain falls. The sparkling, saucer-eyed heroes of manga, comics and cartoons are gaining popularity around the world. But the true heart of their fan club is based here in the homeland of Japan. Akihabara is the cartoon-crazy quarter of Tokyo. Cartoon addicts are known as otaku. Yama is one such, a self-confessed manga maniac. It's a booming industry, bringing in big bucks, as salesman Shinaki Aichi explains.
People come here from all over Japan because of the enormous selection of mangas that we are able to offer, many that you can't get anywhere else.
For Yama, this is cartoon paradise. And even if he tires of watching his favorite characters in 2D, he can even have a go at seeing them in the flesh. These so-called maids masquerade in homemade costumes that aim to bring popular cartoon characters to life. It's a tactic that can be financially very rewarding. This is Yama's idea of heaven. He can relax and be pampered by the creatures of his dreams. This is the Moesham hairdressers, where all staff are cartoon effigies. It costs a mere $23 to enter the comic cosmos. There's much more to the service than a haircut. That's the last thing on Yama's mind.
How does it look?
The chaotic comic world couldn't be further from the ancient serenity that brought Swiss-born Kurto Genso to Japan. At 6 a.m., he rises to celebrate the fire ceremony. He came to the holy mountain of Koyasan to learn the mystical rites of Buddhism. Several times a day, a bell summons worshippers to pray. 1,000 monks live on the holy Koyasan, just 2 hours from Kyoto. They follow the rules of Shingon, an esoteric form of Japanese Buddhism. The monastery's founder, Kobo Daishi, built the first temple more than 1,000 years ago. The sounds of Koyasan, heavy wooden sandals called geta clattering over the walkways, and massive chimes of meditation. For tourists, it can be an exhausting trek to the temple, but once there, everyone, Buddhist or otherwise, will find great serenity, the perfect environment for reflection. Towering gravestones leave little doubt as to their owner's importance. Over 200,000 tombs make up the cemetery of Koyasan, a city of the dead. Every visit to the temple brings new inspiration that brings monk Kurto Genso back to the mountains. When he arrived 8 years ago, he still carried his Swiss birth name, Kuebli. At 54, his one passion, besides his faith, is photography. To Kurto, a form of meditation.
Around 30 years ago, I studied at the Academy of Arts in Florence. At that time, my interest in photography began. Now I'm working on a book about the Garan, the temple complex in Koyasan, and I need impressive photographs to bring it to life.
Lines of Jizo figures look out with stony eyes over the graveyards. Lovingly dressed by believers, they are intended to bring luck to expectant mothers and help the souls of stillborn babies to pass into the next life. Every year, more than 1 million pilgrims, clad in healing white, make the difficult journey to Koyasan. Genso has been engaged in Asian religion since his youth, and now calls this holy mountain his home.
I was born in Switzerland, but have always been cosmopolitan. I don't miss my homeland at all. I've also lived in Italy for many years. I think you can find new interest everywhere you go, but you can't stick with it for too long. Then you'll suffer. But it was the suffering that I wanted to leave behind.
Buddhists believe that suffering is caused by avarice, disaffection, and envy. It can be overcome through meditation and the execution of good deeds. Unlike other branches of the religion, the Shingon Buddhists induct very few into their secret rites. This was the will of their founder, Kobo Daishi. The Holy Mausoleum is located in the gorgeous Okuni-in temple. Kyoto spreads powder made from carnations and camphor on his palms. In former times, it was used as a disinfectant. Today, it provides fragrance. Part of the attraction to the Shingon House of Buddhism is that they believe enlightenment can come in life, in the here and now.
I thought it was wonderful, the idea of becoming a Buddha in this life rather than in death. Whether I will succeed remains to be seen.
Kyoto only planned to stay for 2 years, but the magic of the temple took hold of his Swiss heart, and he believes offered him a Japanese soul. For pilgrims, the highlight of their journey is the holy mountain dominating the island of Shikoku. Guests are fascinated by the Swiss monk.
These are Fuda. When pilgrims explore the Shikoku, visiting its 88 temples, they lay down their address with their name and age at each temple. In the past, the Fuda were written on the temple walls. Things have changed now. Paper instead of graffiti.
Highly skilled calligraphers paint messages in the books of pilgrims. They serve as proof that guests have really entered the sanctum of the Shingon Buddhists.
Well, this is the quittance. The stamp and the writing mean the same thing. Koya-san, Okuno-in.
Just a few steps from the temple, and a little money can even buy you luck.
Now we're in Okuno-in, the most holy of places. Here, amulets are sold to visitors. You can find these all over Japan, at Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples. These small amulets are only for women. These ones are for men. This one is for the examination hall in Japan. It is claimed to protect its owner and bring luck and success.
Visitors to the temple use bamboo ladles to pour water over Buddha figures and blackboards on which they have written the names of their dead.
When you pour water over the message boards, you clear the karma of the dead and help them on their way to a better rebirth. It's a good act to help the deceased.
When rain drenches the ancient statues, a unique charm envelops the cemetery. In all weathers, the monks continue to attend to their founder, Kobo Daishi, symbolically offering gifts of food to his shrine. Nowhere else in Japan offers the chance to have such an intimate view of religious life as in these holy mountains of Koya. Ceremonies are a constant feature of the 100 temples. This personal view of Buddhism will leave a lasting impression on any ultimate journey. These monks are taking part in an ascetic ritual and will return to their isolation and self-denial after prayers. It's a ritual that will last for 105 days. The clattering of their wooden sandals seems to echo across the mountains. You don't have to be a monk to have access to the temples. Many offer places where guests can stay overnight. But only early birds among the guests might have a chance to catch Kurto in his dawn ritual, the fire rite that symbolizes the purity of Buddha's ashes. Visitors can write their wishes on logs of wood, and when the Swiss monk passes it over the blaze, he believes the wishes can come true. For him, dreams and wishes have come true. He's found his place in life and contentment in his beliefs. Perhaps Sarasvati, the goddess of wisdom, has some hand in his good fortune. The sounds of bells might evoke memories of Switzerland, but Kurto has never regretted swapping cowbells and cheese for a world of mantras, mudras, and mandalas. When autumn colors spread across the mountain slopes and the trail of tourists begins to die down, the holy landscape becomes a sea of tranquility. Kurto Kuebli is hoping to become a Buddha in his lifetime. But he has already found paradise on earth. Now, for a change of pace and an unlikely tourist hotspot. Under the skyline of Tokyo, when most of the city has finally gone to bed, rush hour begins at the Tsukiji fish market. 4 a.m. and already the fish market is so huge that salesmen need electric cars to get round the site. Every day, 2 million kilos of marine life pass through the largest fish market in the world. Some is exported, but the rest is the catch of the day in local fish restaurants and sushi bars just hours after it's landed. Every conceivable marine animal is on offer, all shapes and colors of the sea. The Japanese are world champions per capita in the consumption of fish, octopus and crustaceans, consuming 15 million tons every year. For lovers of seafood, a trip to the market offers plenty of inspiration for the day's delicacy. It's not to everyone's taste, but one thing you can be sure of is that you won't get seafood fresher than this. Tourists need to be there by 5 to see the market in full flow. The highlight of the show is the tuna market. Thousands of giant frozen bodies lie bathed in cool neon lighting. Sellers court the traders to inspect the catch, essential preparation for the auction that is to follow. No deals are made without the buyers getting hands-on. To help identify the best of the bunch, the carcasses are numbered. A good inspection relies on the right equipment. Hooks are necessary to haul the heavy, icy stock. A true connoisseur can feel subtle differences in the surface, looking for evenness and flexibility. Only the most compact, meaty flesh will do. For the fish traders, mornings start early and can be long and chilly affairs. On the stroke of 5, the tuna auction begins. Only insiders familiar with the ritual could interpret the complex hand signals and exhaustive babble. The bidders with the strongest nerves hold out until the last minute, waiting for the auctioneers to drop the price. But it's always a gamble. The freshest meat might be gone by the time they get a look in. And by the time Tokyo office workers awaken from their slumber, the fish market is already drawing to a close. Traders collect their tuna purchases. A good quality catch of these meaty fish can have the value of a small car. Some tuna are prepared for transportation. Many of these hunks of meat weigh in excess of 300 kilos, and machinery is needed to lift them into their polystyrene cool boxes, designed to keep them fresh until they arrive at the client's door. A lot of care goes into packing, even though it'll probably be only a matter of hours before they're served in restaurants in the city. Chef Takeo Inui does a daily morning run to the fish market to personally select the finest delicacies for his cooking. And this is one delicacy that should be handled with care. The harmless-looking blowfish, known as fugu, is a much sought-after dish, but only the most skilled are allowed to prepare it. One false move could prove fatal. For Mr. Takeo, it's a duty of honor to carry the fish from the market to his restaurant in person. Fugu chefs must train for a decade before they are licensed to kill, granted the right to prepare a meal that could kill the consumer. A poison in the fish's entrails is 500 times stronger than hydrocyanic acid. There is no antidote. Any mistake will result in a slow and cruel death. There are 20 species of blowfish, and in each of them, the position of the poison is subtly different. Only an expert can tell them apart and safely prepare the dish.
See? You can eat the liver of most fishes, but in the fugu it's highly toxic. But many people don't realize the danger of preparing such fish. This is the poisonous part.
It doesn't look very impressive, but this little lump of flesh can pack quite a punch. It takes a steady hand to make a platter from a small fish like this. In Japan, presentation is a vital part of any meal. One minute mistake, the tiniest drop of poison, could be lethal for the customer and for Mr. Takeo's business. Every year, a dozen deaths are recorded because of fugu poisoning. It's thought that there are other deaths that don't make the official statistics. However, the dish fetches high prices. Fugu fans pay more than $100 per plate for the culinary adventure. The fish is said to taste of mold, so it's perhaps more likely that it's not the taste that appeals so much as the thrill of dicing with death. The Japanese love their food. TV channels are dominated by cooking shows 24/7. Noodle bars are the most popular. Here, you can forget your manners and get slurping with everyone else. Here, on the idyllic island of Okinawa, food has another importance. It seems to hold the secret of long life. Here, there are 3 times as many people surviving past the age of 100 than in the entire USA. The small village of Ojimi breaks the record, with a dozen of its 3,500 inhabitants passing their first century. In the island capital of Naha, researchers try to uncover the secrets of old age. Since the 90s, Canadian gerontologist Craig Wilcox has worked on unraveling the Methuselah phenomenon.
They were out in the fields, they were doing a lot of planting, they were doing a lot of walking. Traditional dance was very popular among these people. They're kind of a fun-loving people, the Okinawans, and I think that helps when you're aging.
So it's not just about the genes you inherit, but also about how you live your life. Every morning at 6 a.m., Yokota Takume cycles to work to tend his prize bull. It's hard to imagine that this sprightly chap is 95 years old. Every year he raises a bull for the traditional bullfights of Okinawa, and he's particularly proud of this one, a bull named Toraju. Tokumai's agility is comparable to an average man in his 50s, and he's not quite ready to start slowing down yet. Craig Wilcox regularly patrols the markets. Here, everything is offered as an aid to reaching a ripe old age. This 90-year-old market worker is living proof of the potency of the goods she is selling.
Very soft. These are sweet potatoes. They're called satsuma imo. Right? Satsuma sweet potatoes. Okay, I'm going to take a little piece of that. Whoa! Look at that.
This vegetable is a power bulb, a vitamin bomb that's low in calories. Just one of the ultra-healthy foods on offer in Okinawa.
Oh, my.
And the most famous of them all, the pocked cucumber, is considered the elixir of life on the island.
Well, this is called goya. It's typical Okinawan vegetable. It's been used in traditional Okinawan medicines as well as in foods for hundreds of years.
Okinawa's supermarkets benefit from one special vegetable advertising icon, the Goya girl, Okushima Ushi. One of the oldest women on the island, she claims her long life is due to her fondness for the bitter cucumber. Her life began at the turn of the last century, and now, at 104 years old, she continues to maintain her independence, saying that fending for herself keeps her fit and healthy. She even carried on working in the fields until she was 103, and just because she's cut down on her workload doesn't mean that she's ready to throw in the towel just yet. Seeing the family together is like a strange time warp. Thanks to good genes and a healthy supply of cucumber, both Okushima's 78-year-old daughter and 43-year-old granddaughter look 20 years younger than you might expect. It's as though everyone here ages in slow motion.
My name is Okushima Ushi, and I'm 104 years old. My eyes and ears still work perfectly. I also can still recognize all the people and can tell you exactly who is who. I can still walk without problems, and I'm healthy.
Okushima plans to make it to 120, and with her love of cucumber, perhaps she stands a chance.
In former times, I cultivated Goya myself, and I always had a large crop. They look quite good. I still eat Goya every day. I just like it. In the meantime, it became very popular due to newspapers and TV, and even children love it. They come to me shouting, "Grandma, Goya, Goya."
Here it is believed that a good diet is the key to health. Vegetables and occasionally a piece of pork. That's the speciality of the Okinawa Grandma's Cooking Club.
Eat Goya to stay as fit as she is.
Goya chanpuru, the vitamin-rich bitter cucumber, is often served with tofu, a popular dish and one that seems to offer the promise of long life. And here's the proof. Bon appétit. There's a local motto, Harahachibu, which means always leave a bit of space in your stomach. Another health tip from these veterans of good living. The young today prefer fast food, but the grandmas are determined to leave a legacy of healthy recipes so that perhaps their grandchildren can also enjoy 100 years on the island. Growing old is fun in Okinawa. Instead of being encouraged to take it easy or being shut away in a home, the elderly hang out like kids. Retired and with time on their hands, they form clubs. The cooking club gets together weekly in the Ojimi Parish Hall. These ladies have packed social calendars and almost more hobbies than they have time for.
I come here every Tuesday after work. Our young woman teaches us how to dance. I really enjoy it. By having fun in my free time, I can continue to enjoy my working life.
Working is one way of having purpose and feeling needed. Old age here is something to laugh about.
I stay young and healthy because I work the fields as often as I can.
Miyagi Hatsue is DJ of the club. Everyone is in high spirits and all have their own tips for a long and happy life.
I moved here during a time of war from Okinawa's capital, Naha. Since then, I found great pleasure in cultivating vegetables. It keeps me happy.
A living journey through time. As young girls, these ladies dance to the same folk tunes. Their agile routines now, reflecting on the past, help to keep them young at heart. Miyagi Shinai is a 90-year-old karaoke teacher and, feeling just 20 at heart, joins 84-year-old student Miyagi Kyo in a duet. Instead of giving up on life and being confined to an armchair, the elderly of Okinawa are always on the go, something that gerontologists believe contributes to their long lives. Hand 88-year-old Inohuku Yoshio a microphone, and the wild child is revealed. He is the heartthrob of the club, and his renditions get the girls going. Here is one OAP who's not ready yet to leave the stage. There is nowhere in the world where tradition survives as close to ultra-modern development as in Japan. From long life to artificial life, Wakamaru is a gaudy yellow robot, and it's Mitsubishi's pride and joy, the first humanoid robot ready to go into production. Who needs an alarm clock when you can have a robot companion to wake you punctually every morning? If you feel in need of a stretch, Wakamaru can turn personal trainer. Standing 1 meter tall, Wakamaru is named after a samurai associated with power and progress. With a live-in robotic home help, you need never miss an appointment or birthday. He's a walking diary. He can read your emails out to you, can even engage in conversation. His father, creator Junji Suzuki, has taught him 10,000 words. Quite a vocabulary. He's a handy man to have around the house and watches over your belongings while you're away. He's the sparkle in his father's eye.
In the past, I constructed big machines like planes. But now I want to create something that can be really useful to its owner. And that amuses me as well.
Using ultrasonic and motion detectors, Wakamaru has no trouble finding his way around. He isn't able to vacuum or do the dishes just yet, but he's full of other surprises.
Horoscope, please.
A horoscope?
Yes.
For whom?
Your owner?
For the owner?
Yes.
The horoscope for the owner.
And you too can have random conversations with the world's first household robot for a mere $15,000. In Japan, technology rules, and headhunters search out the most talented technology freaks to harness their skills for mega companies like Sony. If you don't have time to walk a dog, then Aibo could be your ideal pet.
Aibo, coming. Shake hands.
This robo-dog is trained to recognize the voice of its owner and respond to TLC. With many city workers living in small apartments where animals aren't allowed, Aibo has become a bestseller. He's house-trained, intelligent, and playful. The ideal pet for the 21st century, always ready to please.
Are you sleepy?
But even he needs to take a break and recharge his batteries. In a technological race, engineers and scientists thrive to keep one step ahead of the competition. Meet Ashimo by Honda. Here's a glimpse of the future, the world's most advanced humanoid. Ashimo is the first robot to walk on two legs. He's destined to become a modern handyman, as Honda salesman Suda Katsuhiro explains.
Ashimo should offer support to its owner. So, in a household, for example, she'll be able to help with chores, such as cooking or cleaning up. He will be a great home help.
In Japan, robot development continues to advance in leaps and bounds. It's predicted that Ashimo will go into production by 2010 and could be used as an assistant in hospitals or retirement homes. Right now, though, he's more of a celebrity than servant. The Japanese embrace technological advances, making them the champions of the robot industry. A visit to Japan can also be a glimpse to the future. It's not just technology that's fast-paced. The streets of Tokyo offer an exciting and intoxicating adventure round the clock. A perfect place to begin a trip. From there, you can be springboarded to a magical land that embraces development while still taking pride in its tradition. Japan, a true land of contrasts, with all the ingredients needed for an ultimate journey.